Steve, it's going to be one of these shows.
It's quick.
Going to be one of these shows.
Hello and welcome on into this Wednesday's edition of Entertainment News here at MBE. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel and of course our Twitch stream. I can say this in my sleep and I do F up every now and again, but it's the same spiel.
On.
Yeah, welcome in on.
That was me.
I've not been tripped up with that one yet. I will probably at some point, John, because I am tempted to sort of change things about. And you always want me, don't do it, because you'll just get down.
Anybody watching this who has watched any of our previous videos will realise that I end the shows in the videos.
Yeah.
And it is word for word repeated.
It's funny, John.
Again and again. And I try to change it and I make a complete...
I prefer doing the intro. I don't like doing the outro, and you're vice versa. It's funny that, but...
I'm the same, Stephen. I don't deviate. And when I do deviate, all hell breaks loose.
It's normally when you're doing a solo show, to be fair, because all the focus is on you.
Recorded reactions. There's a couple of times I've tried to go off.
John, we've got a couple of outtakes from yesteryear on our files from our podcast that we need to react to at some point, because we've not heard them in a few years.
Yeah, some of them probably aren't a good idea. They've been Freudian slips or slip of the tongues, and shit.
Clearly, we're not going to publish anything with ones that we're talking about people in.
Yeah. There's been some balls ups.
But they're,
legendary. Unintentional.
The one that I slurred my words and missed out half a sentence, John, was probably
iconic, yeah.
And the one you're trying to close a show. I think that's the two that stand out for me.
It was actually a section of a show when again we pigeonholed ourselves into sections. We decided we were going to do Movie Burner Blog. A section where we broke down the latest movie reviews on the website.
Yeah.
I couldn't get out of it. I couldn't get out of it. I was asking Stephen for help.
Yeah.
I could not end it.
I
can't remember the word I kept repeating.
We'd like you just to thank us. Yeah.
We would like you just to thank us.
Yeah. But again.
Again. It was again. Yep.
That was the word of the day, wasn't it?
It was like fucking Ingomadu.
It's funny, John, because
Stephen Strange.
You look at that and you go, at that point, and obviously MBE, we would never have considered doing live stuff because
we weren't ready.
We just weren't mentally prepared for it.
We weren't ready, Stephen. We weren't ready to do videos when we did videos.
Yeah.
And some might say we're still not ready.
Yeah, because we're gibbering and like talked about what we're talking about yet. So
I don't give a fuck.
That's how we roll, guys. So like it or lump it, that's what we do.
And I tell you what, it's going to be a shambolic start because when I go to spot here, the wrong topic.
John,
it's not.
It's going to be a shambolic start because I've got to pronounce this composer's name and I'm going to butcher it. Every time I read it, it'll be different.
Gudnadada.
Yeah, that'll do.
That's not right.
Hilda.
Gudnadaughter.
Gudnadaughter. I think that's Dottir. I don't know.
Gudnadaughter.
But the composer, Oscar-winning composer from Iceland. You're absolutely right, John. Is obviously composing for the upcoming musical sequel Joker. Foley Adieu offers a production update on the highly anticipated musical sequel. Now, John, I'm just going to read a little bit of this because we've not really talked too much about this sequel. I know when it was announced we talked about it and I don't think we've really went back to it. Both of us big fans of the 2019 Todd Phillips film. Psychological thriller taking inspiration from certain Robert De Niro films. And
I think Joaquin looks like Willem Dafoe there. He looks emaciated. Not that I'm saying Willem is emaciated.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But he's just in the face. He looks slightly...
It's the eyes and the mouth. I can see
him.
Just
the perfect Joker, isn't he?
Yeah. It's fantastic. John, it's one of the things I loved about the original film was just this take, this version of him that we'd never seen before. The sort of humanising of Joker by giving him an actual name, Arthur Fleck. But
Gudnadaughter.
Yeah, Gudnadaughter. That'll do. Hilda. I'm just going to call her Hilda as if I know her, right? Composer for Joker, Foley Adieu, reveals that she is beginning to work on the music for the upcoming musical sequel in her production update. Directed by Todd Phillips, Joker was released in 2019 and featured the classic Batman villain played by Joaquin Phoenix in a serious psychological thriller film. A new kind of origin story for DC Joker follows struggling comedian Arthur Fleck as he descended into severe mental illness and ultimately becoming a murderous criminal. You get what you fucking deserve. The film grossed 1.074 billion worldwide. That's the best.
When you cross a mentally ill man with a society that doesn't care.
Oh, fantastic.
You get what you fucking deserve.
Oh, Murray.
Murray.
Making it the highest grossing R-rated film in history. That's incredible, though The Joker was intended to be a standalone film, but the movie's success led to a sequel being announced in May 2021. I think that's the last time we spoke about this. It was a few years ago.
Scary, it's fucking 4 years.
Yeah.
Since Joker came
and
out.
This was announced nearly 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was revealed in June 2022 the sequel film would be titled Joker Folie à Deux. Now, John, just in terms of the composer's interview with Variety, just offered a production update. The Oscar-winning composer of the 2019 film revealed that she had just started working on the music set to be included in the musical sequel, although it was not confirmed that it would be. Though it was confirmed that the Joker Folie à Deux would be a musical, Goodna Duttier fucking butchered this, did not give away whether she's working on the incidental score or she is involved with writing with the film's musical numbers. John, I questioned you on this because you're more musically sort of knowledgeable than me. I go as far as probably The Great Showman and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when it comes to musicals.
I'll just go back to La La Land.
But you went back to La La Land. The question that I did ask though you, John, was do they normally put scores in musicals? Because I couldn't remember. Because I'm not that well
this is going to be a shambles when I click on this.
In musicals, musical movies, I wasn't sure, but you said no. They
do
that.
Stephen, they tend to have the musical numbers,
yeah.
And it's like little excerpts, like musical sections from the main themes.
From the musical numbers, yeah.
When I think of La La Land, I think of Mia and Seb, or Seb and Mia's theme.
Yeah.
And they just shoot that almost becomes the heartbeat of the movie.
Yeah.
And it takes on new life throughout various parts of the movie, and it's almost like a soundtrack, a score in its own right.
Yeah.
Filled in with other little bits. And then you've got the actual musical numbers themselves. Incidentally, the people involved in La La Land were stunning. Justin Horwitz, I think, but there's another guy who was involved. It's a duo. They've worked on many, many movies now. So I'm going to check Folie à Deux and see what the setup is, whether she is listed as the singular composer or whether there's someone involved in actually doing the songs as well.
Yeah, a bit of investigative work
I
there.
don't actually know what the script was.
I don't like the way that IMDb set this up with. They should really sort of compress it a bit more.
They really should. No, it's just Justin Horwitz. I'm sure there was 2 guys involved in the music. I'm not having that. That's bollocks. There was definitely 2 guys involved in these songs for La La Land. So Justin Horwitz was the composer. Stephen, I'm going off on a sidetrack.
Yeah,
tangent,
John, I'll read this just now while you're doing that then. This film is set to be released on the 4th of October 2024, so it's still a good while away, almost 2 years away, not shy of 2 years, and Folie à Deux will star Phoenix in obviously the title role once again, and it will see Zazie Beetz reprising her role as Sophie Dumond, Arthur's neighbour, who he mistakenly thought was his love interest throughout the first film. In June 2022 it was announced that Lady Gaga would be joining the sequel in the role of Harley Quinn. Other cast members include Harry Potter actor Brendan Gleeson, Catherine Keener, Jacob Laughlin and Harry Lottie in undisclosed roles. That'll be very interesting.
Big fans of
Brendan. That's of Brendan Gleeson, John.
Yeah, I was just watching the Actors Roundtable. What a video!
I started watching it. I've not finished watching it yet.
Love it, man. Honestly,
fantastic.
What a lineup!
Yeah,
and they'd Colin Farrell, and it was just waxing lyrical
Yeah.
about Brendan. How their
typical
souls
Irishman.
resonate.
Yeah, likes to talk.
He feels like he's known him longer than the 42 years he has. There's something about his soul, and he can't speak highly enough about Brendan. And look, he bought a job he did in the Harry Potter movie as well. I believe it was the Goblet of Fire.
John,
obviously David Tennant.
Lady Gaga is Harley Quinn. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, Stephen, I just searched up the actual title, what it means, Folie à Deux, and it makes a huge amount of sense, I should say.
Deux, that means two, doesn't it?
Yeah, it means shared madness.
Shared, yeah.
And obviously, when you think of Harley Quinn, who Lady Gaga is going to be playing, and Joker, she's his doctor, physician, psychologist in the comics and the video games. She falls from, and it's like this shared madness. It's like a shared psychosis snugging through. They're both absolutely batshit crazy, and they both go on this journey. I always, Stephen, it's funny, and I don't want to derail the show again, I always viewed the sort of Harley Quinn Joker relationship like what John. Yeah, I know the dog. But what John Lennon and Yoko Ono were like, not in the sense that they were mad and they were sharing madness, but how close they were. They just were made for each other.
Pockets,
They were ever present in each other's lives, constantly together. That's what Joker and Harley Quinn are like. So you combine those two together, these two actors, I think you get something special here, regardless of the actual way you're structuring the movie, be it musical or drama. Lady Gaga has really came on to a game in the last 5, 6, 7 years in terms of acting. Also House of Gucci, A Star Is Born. She's actually a very, very good actor. To be fair, a great singer as well, let's be honest. I'm not really into her earlier
talented
stuff.
musician as well.
All the crazy shit, turning up to awards shows with meat dresses on and things like that.
That's Madonna inspired though, isn't it?
It's not really my scene, that crap, but you can't deny her musicianship. She can play the piano, she is a gifted musician.
Yep.
So as an all-round sort of star, you probably can't pick a better person to come in and co-star alongside Joaquin Phoenix. She can sing.
Yeah.
She's got gravitas. She's got a huge following, and she's become a really fine actress as well. So I actually think it's an inspired choice. It's just the whole decision to make it a musical.
John, that's what I was going to ask you. In terms of obviously shifting genres from one film to the next, I can't recall. You could probably pick out films from a franchise and go, well, that one was slightly different. That was more thriller than action, but it's like a sort of progressive change. This is just jarring. Do you know what I mean? You're going from psychological thriller to a musical.
But you can't rehash it, Stephen.
No, of course you can't.
Everybody's been saying when the news first broke about this movie getting a sequel, it's a mistake.
Yeah.
You're going to ruin the self-contained story, exploding Joker. Just leave it alone. We don't need sequels for every single movie. Joaquin Phoenix doesn't really do sequels. Well, the way to get around that is to do what they're doing here. Todd Phillips, the likes of Hilda, changing it up, changing the direction for the movie to the point where it's a completely different genre. It's more musical inspired. Because you think of the best moments in the original, and music's a big part of it.
The stairs, John. That's what I was going to mention, was that, do you think perhaps maybe that sequence triggered something, that thought, well, that's one of the most sort of reenacted moments of the film. It's not obviously the sit down chat show bit where De Niro's character gets shot, although that's probably the most memorable. The most reenacted part is probably the staircase scene, isn't it? That was phenomenal, John.
Wasn't that good?
Phenomenal.
Stephen, look, I think it's a point, because a lot of people broke down that sequence where he's coming down the stairs. Just his movement, it's weird. He's out of sync with society, and it's almost that whole thing being explored in a microcosm, that stair sequence.
Yep.
And the way music impacts, he's almost living in his own little world for the first time, really.
Yeah.
He feels comfortable in his own skin when he becomes this Joker figure, this clown figure. And that's just intrinsically linked with the music in that scene.
You're going to die, clown.
Die, clown, yes. Adam Sandler was on it as well. He was actually quite low key in that video.
Yeah, he always looks tired just now. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, he's had a hip replacement.
Hip
replacement 3 months ago, he said. So too much basketball.
Yeah. It's all in the hips.
It's all in the hips. And now it is. Who would have thought he would have became your man? Carl Weathers, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who would have thought? I forget the character's name from Happy Gilmore.
Chubbs Peterson.
Yeah. He's became Chubbs.
Yeah.
What is that? That's what time does to people. That fresh-eyed, brilliant comedic actor from fucking 30 years ago now. It's terrifying, man. It's like fucking 30 years. I think
Airheads came out round about this time 30 years ago, John. I think
it was
Airheads,
Steve. It was all connecting.
93, yeah.
It was all connecting beautifully, man. Yeah. You had Encino Man as well. Your man from
Short Round. From Indiana Jones. He was in Encino Man. Yeah.
He won the Globe last night for his performance, which surprised me. I'm not going
John,
to lie.
I'm so happy about that.
I'm happy as well, because he's a brilliant guy, really humble, really happy to be there. He was brilliant in that video as well. I'll not spoil the whole thing, Stephen, but just the way he's charted the shocking racial stuff that happened. Sidetracked here big time, but it was all connected and lovely. They all had these. I mean, I think he says Brendan said to him at one point as they met for the first time in like 25, 30 years. We're still here.
Yeah, that's it.
That was just a great line, man.
Yeah.
I fucking love Brendan, honestly. I just love
so
him.
Humble, yeah.
Him and Colin in that video are great, man. They're so invested in every other person speaking. You can tell they're listening to every single thing that's being said. Just brilliant brilliant human beings, man. Wish them nothing but success. But where were we?
I can't remember. We went from Adam Sandler for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why we went there. I think it was the hip.
Yeah.
We were talking about hips somehow. I don't know how we got there. I've not got a fucking clue how we got there. Truth be told.
I think we were talking 30 years ago, weren't we? We were
Yeah.
talking about things 30 years ago.
Yeah, I'm doing a limit
Yeah.
here. Totally losing the plot and forgetting where I was 5 seconds earlier. Yeah, just the music though, Stephen. I think it's got the potential to work really well. I think if it's handled correctly.
Yeah,
And you've certainly got the right people involved. An Oscar-winning composer in there, Hilda. Brilliant.
Hilda.
Musical Hilda.
Yeah.
Hilda Goodna-daughter. I don't know how I'm doing with that pronunciation. I'd suggest I'm doing horrifically. As I say, Lady Gaga, huge musical sort of presence. My big concern, I think we were talking about the shift, Stephen, genre-wise, from drama to musical, and how it was such a big part of Arthur Fleck's story in the original music. That moment, that was a sort of breakout moment for that man in that film. I don't know if he was hearing the song in his head or whether it was just for our benefit, but it seemed like he was dancing to his own little melody, and it seemed to perfectly fit by a Gary Glitter song, which is kind of fitting.
Rock and roll, yeah.
It's kind of fitting.
Didn't get any royalties, John, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's not just that. He's a wronging, and obviously the Joker, as much as people love this guy,
He's a wronging.
He's a wronging.
Yeah.
So it kind of fits perfectly in it. And when you think about this sort of paedophile figure serving as inspiration to bring out, because look, it ain't alleged. The man is a fucking utter nonce. But look, he is such as a
Not
Gary
Joaquin
Glitter.
Phoenix, yeah.
Gary Glitter.
Please make that
Gary
clear.
Glitter, Joaquin, brilliant guy.
Yeah.
He
is a brilliant guy. John, we're talking about this trailer. It's just come out as well.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
And it looks phenomenal. I've watched the trailer, so it does look good.
A24.
Yeah, A24. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
John, do you know something? A24, they put this logo up all the time, and I get all studios do this. They don't have to do that.
No, they
I
don't.
know an
You do.
A24 film, and I see it. But we're going to move on, unless you've got anything else to say.
Stephen, man, time will tell whether it's the right decision. Really,
I've got good hope
I've
for
got
this.
good hope for it. I think it's probably the correct way to go about
Yeah.
handling a sequel. Because if you try to remake a drama-heavy story with a sort of heavy Scorsese inspiration, you're just rehashing the first movie. You're not going to do it better.
I think it's going to be set in Arkham Asylum,
Yeah, I
where
think it is
Harley
as well.
Quinn's obviously doctor
The doctor.
character's going to be. She worked there, and she obviously Arthur's going to be her patient, as you said, and it'll be a case of getting him out of there, like break out.
Did you think it'll end again in another sort of cliffhanger where they break out of Arkham and that's it, off into the sunset? Or do you think we'll see
A
like
trilogy.
sort of a Bruce Wayne or a other sort of superhero?
Do you know
Figure?
something?
I don't like calling Bruce a superhero. He's not a superhero.
I'll be honest with you. In the first film, I wasn't that perplexed
Also with the
about
Wayne connection.
Yeah, the whole sort of Thomas Wayne and meeting Bruce at the gates thing was nice and all that, just to remind us we were in Gotham and stuff like that. But I didn't really care, to be honest with you. I was just so focused on that one character, and that's what it was all about at the end of the day. And I was just that interested. If I want to see Batman and Bruce Wayne, I'll go and watch Chris Nolan stuff. But John, we're going to move on.
Matt
Yeah.
Reeves. I'd think
Matt
of
Reeves.
that.
We're going to move on
Says
to
maybe one of those nights.
our music news, and it's all about U2. Remember them? I've not heard them for a long time.
Downloaded forcibly their album onto everyone's Apple products.
Yeah, do you
without
remember
letting
that?
anybody know.
Yeah, I remember that.
Fucking
What was that
weirdos.
all about? Probably their record company, John. I don't think it would have been Bono, but U2 reimagined 40 of their own songs for new album, Songs
They've
of
got 40
Surrender.
songs.
Now, John,
Really?
yeah. John, they've
No,
got
to be
two.
fair,
They've
listen.
got two greatest hits out. One that spanned
Yeah.
from 1980 to
Steve,
1990, then 1990 to 2000. So
A Jester, one of the greatest bands ever. To be fair.
it's crazy when you think about it. But this album, which is arriving on the 17th of March this year, coincides with Bono's recent memoir, Surrender, 40 Songs in One Story. And if you've
I remember him being on Colbert or something speaking about this, and he delivered a fucking epic monologue.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was this behind one of their songs. It may have been.
It's probably, was it to do with this book?
I think it was.
Yeah.
What's the song? Jeez, With or Without You.
Yeah, right, okay.
Oh my god, Steve, it's fucking
Yeah.
incredible. He's got away for words.
Now-
Delivers a monologue and goes right into a performance.
I don't think there's anyone out there that doesn't like at least one U2 song.
I like multiple U2
Yeah,
songs.
and John, when I was
I've
growing
got
up,
good memories of the 90s with you two.
when I was growing up, I think Under a Blood Red Sky had just been released in the sort of early to mid 80s, and it was a live album, and I had just got my Sony Walkman.
Peter
80s, yeah, and my Adidas tracksuit, and those headphones that you used to get, the spongy ones,
Yeah.
and listened to this album and just been a fan of U2. And then they kind of went into the 90s stuff with the Fly and all that, Jazz Mysterious Ways, and they kind of changed their sort of style. And I still liked them.
Edge is one of the greatest guitarists
And
that's ever
then
lived.
they reinvented themselves again in the early 2000s with A Beautiful Day and
Mind the
what's
video?
what's that song called? Got Yourself Together, Stuck in the Moment, which is a fantastic song. Do you know something? The last time I heard that song was actually in Dublin,
Yeah.
going to Dublin Airport, which I thought was quite
Is
fitting.
that you've got to
Yeah.
get yourself
That was a good album, John, that came from 2000. But since
That's
then,
one that I really recall they did, which was brilliant. Was the one that
Vertigo.
seemed to link in
Yeah.
with Angelina Jolie. I think it may have been Tomb Raider.
it was early 2000s, mid 2000s,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
that was the
Yeah.
last time I think they released a great
Yeah.
song.
I don't know what they released after it, if they did, John, but I think Vertigo was probably the last sort of period I remember from them. But this album, I asked
This
you,
is an interesting concept. If it's what I'm thinking
Yeah.
it is.
well, that's
I'll
what I
tell you
asked.
what
I
it
said, what
reminds
does
me of.
reimagined mean? Does that mean remastered? You said no, it's re-recording their songs.
Well, there's a couple of
Yeah.
things I want to discuss about this, Steve. But the first thing I'll ask you, what does this conjure up in your mind relating to both our favourite band of all time? What they did with an album, posthumously, obviously, for two of the Beatles,
Yeah.
with Giles. What album do you think this reminds you? And if it does remind you of
The
it,
White Album,
no, Love.
Love.
Reimagining the songs,
I
bring
get
them
you,
together,
yeah,
new
yeah,
lights,
Yeah.
mixing them differently. It was almost like full fucking surround sound, and then
That's
they
a
took it
good-
to an actual
yeah.
purpose-built arena
Yeah, in Vegas, yeah.
in Vegas for it. It kind
Yeah.
of immediately as I read this and you sent it
that's a
over,
good-
I thought
Yeah,
that sounds like Love.
yeah.
A reimagining 40
It could
songs.
be, yeah.
It's not full songs potentially. We'll find out as we go
Yeah.
through. I may be talking shit,
Could be a bit of remix.
but it could be remixing it and doing something
Yeah.
unique. Because I love that Love album. I think
Yeah.
that's absolutely
Now-
that's one of the best things put out.
U2 announced the project on the 10th, which was yesterday, Tuesday, and they put out a minute-long trailer on YouTube, which is
I've not
available
watched that.
there
I'll need to watch it.
if you want, and it has an atmospheric rendition of Beautiful Day, paired with a moving collage filled with video and images of U2 throughout their career. I think this is fantastic. It's a good way if...
Beautiful Day again is another song that conjures up brilliant memories for me. Early 2000s Premier League, English Premier League.
Yeah.
I was a sellout back then. The great Arsenal team
Yeah.
with Arsene Wenger
Yeah,
and the
when-
likes of Dennis Bergkamp, Thierry
When that
Henry,
league was a
Patrick
bit
Vieira.
more interesting.
Yeah, Beautiful Day used to be the sort of soundtrack to
I was going to
ITV.
say something about U2 as well, whether or not I can't imagine they're going to be back in that sort of same place they were in terms of not popularity. They're a popular band still, but I think all bands suffer from it eventually. REM obviously had they retired because they knew the day had come, that they couldn't reach those heights anymore or have that sort of energy to compose those songs again.
I'm going down a Weezer rabbit hole just now, and they,
Yeah.
by all accounts, just don't even bother now. They don't even bother releasing new stuff. They just
Yeah.
go over. I mean, they did a live performance,
Yeah.
just the Boy album.
Yeah, I mean,
Back to
I can imagine
back to
U2 going out and tour and they just do their greatest hits now. They
Yeah.
became the Rolling Stones basically,
Yeah.
but which is not a bad thing. I mean, if you've got a catalogue that size, 40 songs, then why not? But for me, and I did see Bono recently, and he's getting old. It's sad to see that because I remember when he had that mullet, the black hair and the mullet.
The
But
tank tops.
yeah, but the Edge just didn't have good hair anyway. He always wore a hat.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it, John. I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with these songs. In this day and age, you just wait for Spotify and you can listen to it on that. That's what I do with all the Giles Martin stuff. I've listened to it through that, which is probably
It's funny
sacrilege.
because I was thinking just there, I was walking the dog earlier on today and I was thinking, I know they released a Get Back album and sort of let It Be album, I should say,
Yeah.
linking in with the Get Back documentary.
Documentary, yeah.
And I thought, I've not bought that.
Yeah.
And I've had every other
Is that
Beatles
the one
release.
that the covers like them on the roof, like
Yeah.
it's their backs?
Yeah,
And you see the sky?
I have to buy it
You
regardless.
see the London skyline, yeah.
I'm going to have to get it, but I've not even got a fucking means to play a CD now.
Well, John, this brings us on to our next topic. If you've got anything else you want to say about U2.
Just intrigued, Stephen. Look, I do like U2. They're one of the great bands of the 80s, getting into the 90s. As I says, I've got great memories. Football, everyone knows on this channel I'm a Celtic man. And my abiding memory, sweetest thing, 1999, late 98 maybe. We beat
That was
Rangers
a good
5-1.
song, that. Yeah, I liked that song. That was the one there they
Celtic
got.
Park, and they played it at the end.
Boyzone and all that were in the
Yeah.
video. I remember that.
It was a great video. It was in Dublin, wasn't
yeah,
it?
it was. I think it was an apology to his wife. He forgot an anniversary.
And he writes
So-
a song about that.
I mean, you can't beat
But
that, can you?
that ties back to it, Stephen. I said it before, music for me is transportive. It takes me back.
Yeah.
It's a time machine. I go back to when I was like 8 or 9 or 10. We just beat my biggest rivals 5-1, and that comes on at the end. It's only out like a month, the song at that time. So I've got good memories, and With or Without You for me is one of the greatest songs ever.
Great intro, yeah.
Ever.
Fantastic
The
intro.
first minute of that song is just
Yep.
unbelievable. The bass, the guitar, Bono's vocals. So I jest, like, have they got that many songs? You remember the time they put the album on everyone's devices. But look, that aside, man, they're one of the great bands of
Yeah.
the last 30, 40, 50 years. They've earned the right to have that back catalogue, and it's so interesting to see how they combine this all together. I'd love to see a Love Style album, but it's like the
Yeah,
alternate
yeah.
takes, and it's mixed together, and you're giving us something fresh with
I mean,
familiar
I
songs.
thought perhaps maybe they would have done a sort of re-release box set of their albums first to remind maybe a generation, how good their songs were for their time, and then maybe bring out something like that, just to go, oh right, I can identify with that now, because it has been a while since U2 have done anything massive, and this is massive. 40 songs reinvented, or reimagined, sorry. It's going to be interesting. I hope they don't do that thing where they just do an acoustic thing where a song that would normally last 3 minutes is lasting fucking 7 minutes on an acoustic, slowing everything down. I hate that.
The only time I didn't mind that was Everlong by Foo Fighters.
Bob
I
Dylan does that,
discovered-
John.
Yeah, he
And I
does. He
love
does it
Bob.
live.
Yeah,
But his argument is you want to hear the record
yeah.
version.
Yeah, fair enough.
Listen to it.
Yeah. But I want to see you,
fucking
mate.
Me.
I want to see you.
Exactly. You want to see him doing it like that. Because
Like
that's the
the
only
record.
opportunity you're going to fucking get.
Bob,
The thing
mime
for-
it. Just mime it.
Just
Do a talk with Bob's. Yeah.
I don't mind that if it's done right. Like the Foo Fighters, huge fan of them. They did a Skin and Bones live performance. As a sort of one and done performance, though, but they took all the famous songs and made them acoustic. And it was different.
We'll
But
just
they didn't
have to see.
overstay their fucking welcome, though, that's the thing.
17th of March it comes out, John. I'm pretty sure is that St Patrick's Day.
I think it is, yeah.
Is it?
I think it is.
Which is kind of thingy for you two, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah, 17th of March. It's obviously deliberate for them to do that. But
they know what they're doing.
John, you talked about obviously formats, physical medium, and this is what we're going to be talking about next in terms of games, because we've got our gaming section, which we've just sort of inserted into the show now that we're doing entertainment news. And we talked about the most anticipated games, obviously, of 2023 coming up on the show on Monday. It's one of those things I want to talk about because obviously I've just signed up to Game Pass for the Xbox for the first time. You've been on it quite a while. You've been trying to talk me into taking it, and I never did, John.
It's a great
And
software.
John, I'm actually
Catalog.
pressure washing houses at the moment, and I've just find it so enjoyable.
Stephen, look, man.
There's something weird
I'm
about
sure it
that.
says it to me back in the day.
Yeah.
I remember playing World of Warcraft after I left school. It was a dark 6 months. Holiday to Crete saved me from the abyss.
Pulled
'cause
you
I
away
was
from the
losing fucking
machine,
hours every day playing World of Warcraft. I'm talking 10 hours a day playing it. And then I was going on and playing Call of Duty later on. I was living in another world.
Living in a digital world, and
But
I am
I
a
always look back after
digital
that and
girl.
thought, that was a terrible time.
Yeah.
All the time I wasted. But you made the point, Stephen. You're quite right. Did you enjoy yourself?
Well,
It's not fucking time
it's-
wasted
it's-
then
that's
if you
John
enjoy
Lennon.
yourself.
That's a John Lennon quote, isn't it?
Well, you're right. I
yeah.
tell you, if you're enjoying yourself,
Time
then
enjoyed isn't time wasted or something
Exactly.
like that. Yeah.
So I
It's
enjoyed
true, yeah.
myself. So,
Yeah. Why not?
so if you're enjoying yourself,
was,
power washing virtual houses and
it is,
cars, then
yeah.
fucking
Power Wash
ram it.
Simulator. Check it out, guys. But John, obviously the the topic we're going to be talking about is all obviously 90% or almost 90% of games sold in the UK last year were digital. This is one of the things when I was swaying whether or not to get the Series X or the Series, I don't know what the other one's called. S, yeah. Because one doesn't come with obviously a disk drive, which means that everything has to be digital. And I was concerned about the...
Is it the S that came without it, or the X?
I think it's the
S, the lower?
The S, yeah. I think...
I'd still like the option of having it. I've not got
I like the option because although I know the bigger one has the terabyte of storage capacity, the other one doesn't. I think it's like half that. And I'm thinking, so you're giving half of that and you're not giving a disk drive.
You can always get an external hard drive though.
A lot of Game Pass stuff is cloud based as well, so you don't.
That's
even have
another
to.
Conversation to be had here as well, Stephen.
But
it's just evolution, isn't it, of content consumption?
Yeah, and John, this is the thing that a lot of people don't like.
Man.
I would probably say video games are probably late to the party in terms of this, because film medium has been doing this for almost a decade now. In terms of download, music's been doing it even longer, maybe about 20 years. When it comes to video games, I don't know what it is, if it's just a personal thing, but I think personally I can say I do prefer having a physical medium, a CD, a DVD, whatever it may be, a CD-ROM, just to have that. I don't know why.
CD-ROM, I remember that.
I don't honestly know why. Yeah.
What are you doing with that CD-ROM? He's hacking into the newsletter for the
floppy
school.
disk.
That's what he's doing. It was a floppy disk. It was a CD-ROM.
CD-ROM.
Fucking hacking into the newsletter, mate.
But I mean, it's just preference, I suppose. But I think more and more people are now sort of evolving with the technology and Stephen, accepting what it is.
I'm with you. One of my fond memories as a kid was getting a new game, opening it up, and they used to give you the little booklet.
Yeah.
With like all the buttons and stuff like that, the controller things. I'm a weirdo.
I'm trying to remember the game I had for Christmas and I opened up and the disc wasn't in it. Do you remember that? And I had to get back. What was it? I can't remember.
I remember.
Was it Gears of War? I can't remember.
Well, I remember I bought, I think it was, what was that zombie game again? It was on Xbox.
Dead Rising.
Yeah, it was Dead Rising 2 or something like that. I got it off a shop too and they sent me an extra copy, so I gave it round to you.
That's right, yeah.
That was theft, I've just admitted to it. I don't give a fuck, it wasn't me that sent it out. But Stephen, I'm a weirdo. I used to open up the cases and sniff it and I'm like, oh, it's that smell.
Yeah,
fresh
smell, yeah.
There's a famous song, I can't recall the name of them, it may be, what are they called again? I'd need to search this band up. 21 Pilots, is it? I'm going to search it up. But he sings a song, Bloody Face.
Yeah. My
name's Bodyface and I don't care what people think or something like that, but there's a line in the song where he says something about a scent that reminds him of his childhood. If he could bottle it, he would bottle it, but it wouldn't sell well because it was only him and his brother who would connect with it. That's absolutely true. It's like scents and music take you back. They take you back.
John, see
and the smell of, like, if I could bottle the smell of a new fucking product.
See my copy of Automatic for the People from 1992, the CD, I've still got it.
Yeah.
The insert smells like photocopied paper. Newly photocopied paper.
Yeah.
Do you know that smell?
Yeah.
It's got a heat off it. It's like a smell of heat.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's something about it. But even you open
it still has that.
But Stephen, this is a thing.
It's almost like licorice.
Yeah,
sort of
there's
smell
something
off it.
about
Weird.
the smell of opening a new product, the cling wrap on a video game or on something. You smell it, it takes you to a nice happy place. And it's not just me saying this. Those fucking whiz kids over in, where the fuck are Apple based? In California?
California, yeah.
But there's a place in California. They know about this as well, Stephen. The packaging is one of the most important things. The sleekness of it, the way you open it
Taking that film off.
Taking the film off and opening it up.
Yeah.
It's an experience. It's an actual not out of body, that's a bit dramatic, but people really enjoy, human beings enjoy it. It's a sensory experience.
I think a lot of people miss vinyl. Well, obviously you can get vinyl to come back, but back in the day that was one of the things, the smell of the vinyl as well. Newly pressed.
Same with food.
John, funnily enough, talking about smells on discs, this might change your mind because I just remembered something there. Toothpaste on your Call of Duty 3 disc worked wonders,
It
didn't
did,
it?
yeah. I had so many scratches on that
Yeah.
disc that I couldn't get it to work, and someone suggested rubbing toothpaste, and my fucking god, it worked.
Yeah.
It did work.
And made that disc drive fresh, minty smell.
It did.
Yeah.
And that's why I love Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Mal.
But
It's nice toothpastey vanilla freshness.
John, I'm just going to read this little sort of
Yes.
excerpt here from this website. I think it's the BBC actually,
That's Prince Harry. Henry.
which we're not really on. Yeah, Hank.
Did you realise his name is Henry?
No.
Fucking is.
Digital sales accounted for almost 9 out of 10 video games sold in the UK in 2022, according to a trade body. The Digital Entertainment and Retail Association said 89.5% of games sold has been digital downloads, and the remaining 10.5 actual physical copies. About 30% of the sales came from mobile apps, which are sold digitally. And total, the gaming industry accounted for 4.7 billion of sales in the UK in 2022. Higher than that of the film, television or music industries. Yeah, the numbers mean gamers were much more likely to download games through their console or PC rather than wait for a delivery or going to a shop. ERA Chief Executive Kim Bailey said gaming was the often unheralded leader of the entertainment market, while growth at 2.3% was lower than that of video or music. Its scale is enormous, and in terms of innovation and excitement, it continues to set the pace for the entire entertainment sector. I will say one thing about music though, John. We talked about Spotify there, where you can just go on and listen to whatever you want without buying it or downloading it or anything. You're just obviously streaming. So in that case, you can't do that with video games unless you subscribe to something like Game Pass. So
in my case, EA Play Pro, which I'm still paying for.
But
fucking hell, why?
Are we getting to that period now, John, where physical console games are now being phased out? If the majority, 90% of people are now digitally downloading the games anyway, because
I think we are.
Consoles are getting to that stage now that they can hold more information as well, rather than I used to get those external hard drives for the Xbox 360 just to play obviously extended packs. What do they call them? Expansion packs. Extension packs.
DLC.
For Battlefront. Remember all those expansion packs that came out? I had to end up getting another separate drive just to store everything on. It was absolutely crazy.
Oh, but I think we are. I think we've reached a tipping point here for actual digital consumption. I think what you mentioned, cloud-based gaming. Also, that's depending on how good your actual broadband is in your area.
Well, I think for cloud-based as well, John, I don't think it allows you to save the games. Your progress, I don't think it does.
You sure? I think it can.
It gives you the option of downloading it after a while if you've been playing it a while, but I can't see an option of saving it on a cloud-based. Maybe I'm wrong. I've only had it a week, so I'm probably wrong. I'm
pretty sure you should be able to do that. I don't know if that's true. I don't know enough about it. But I certainly don't really buy games anymore. Steam, as I says, my current gaming PC doesn't even have a fucking disc drive. No. So everything's digital, and I've just completely moved over.
Yeah,
CD keys and things like that are the way forward. I go in there and I just get the key and I download it, or I go to Steam. I'm about to get Hogwarts Legacy. That's happening.
Yeah, you were talking about that the other day.
Fucking £65 though. That's another conversation that we're having about digital. It ain't cheaper than physical.
No, it's
fucking dearer.
Yeah.
But Stephen, there's pioneering figures within that industry who are ahead of the curve. The Monkey Island game that came out, I actually bought my mother it for Christmas. I can't remember the original guy who did the ones in the 90s, but he's only released that game digitally. There is no physical copy. So I think they're realising now if you can reduce the cost of actually creating a physical disc, you can maybe divert that into making the game better.
Yeah.
Visually more arresting, making the story better, bringing in better voice acting. It's money you can spend.
I think games can evolve as well, John, even after their initial release. Obviously, like GTA and Rockstar do that with their latest I'm saying latest, it's 10-year-old, but with all the expansion packs, they're constantly updating stuff. You know, that's something that you probably couldn't do 10-15 years ago.
It's just the space thing, Steve. What you say is the space it took up. Even now, man, I play, as you know, Dead by Daylight. They're constantly updating it, but they're condensing the file size every time.
Yeah.
So you're updating, and they're not. You're not. It's not an ever-growing file size. It's condensing.
Yeah.
So they're finding ways to cut and save space.
Yeah.
So just technologically, we're moving on. I know it's inevitable. I've said this about film. I've said it about music.
You're getting phony.
I don't listen to any of those songs. Get her off that album. That's no way. It's John Lennon's album. What are you fucking doing? Just don't do it. Come on. Just have your own album. And it'll sell what it sells. Steen, you're right what
Don't
you say,
stick
though.
your finger in the pie.
About
I know
Yoko.
I see you through your jive.
But it was more of that time. It actually was more in line with popular music at that point than John Lennon stuff. But John's is timeless. Hers isn't. And that's the key. You've got to think ahead. Fuck what they're doing. Don't be trendy. Just be yourself. And you will live eternally. I was just listening to Live Forever there by Oasis. But it was a steam though. Digital, everything's just moving from analog to digital all the time.
Yeah.
It started with the music industry. Books have moved to digital. Although I'm one of those freaks who I do actually prefer having a physical book in my hands.
Yeah, the internet forced their hand, John. Let's be honest. And Napster and all that,
Yes.
Copernicus.
But it does.
I didn't use them. I just heard about it. It was a rumour.
I think everybody fucking used it, but the quality was dreadful. We've now got to the
It
stage.
pushed everything along, though, didn't it?
I mean, I'm listening, Stephen, on my phone every day, Apple Music. Actually, I'm thinking about going to Spotify because also Joe Rogan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about jumping over. It's just the fact to give you an annual breakdown of what you listen to as
Movie
well.
Burners has got a Spotify.
I'm thinking about going to
Yeah, we've got
Spotify.
some audio reviews in there.
But the fact is, Stephen, I can walk my dog on my phone.
Yeah.
And AirPods, and I've got Dolby Atmos. Fucking lossless sound quality in my ears on the go.
John,
We've moved on digitally. We've moved on technologically with music in the last 20 odd years, and it's the same with video games.
30% of sales came from mobile apps. How do you feel about mobile apps?
I don't really game on the mobile.
Yeah, I don't think
I
they're
know
that
it's a
great.
huge industry.
Yeah.
There's certain games, man, you've got the sort of...
It's for those sort of dual games and stuff like that, really, isn't it?
Yeah, the dual games
we
are
tried
alright.
the SimCity.
Don't get me wrong, Stephen. Like the
mobile
iPad,
app, didn't we?
I mean, the iPad.
On
you've
holiday,
got-
do you remember?
Yeah, that wasn't great. It was alright, to be fair, it wasn't bad. It was alright. It was a time. It was a fucking saver. I tell you that. It was
And
a
that football
lifesaver.
management one with Jose Mourinho, top 11 or something, is it called?
Well, there's now you've got Football Manager, and it's the actual mobile version.
Yeah.
It's a condensed version,
Yeah,
simplified.
the other version that you can't get now, you've got to subscribe. It's like a fortune a year.
Is it? Yeah.
I'm
Fuck.
like, no chance.
No, but Steve, the mobile gaming has come on. Obviously, as the devices have got more powerful. I mean, you've got an iPad Pro. I've not quite got that. I've got an iPad Pro, but it's fucking years old. I've now got an iPad Air. Bigger screens, bevel-less. You can play games pretty well. I mean, there's a great pool game on there, 8 Ball Pool. There is games that on mobile that are great. Not really my scene though. I'm more of a traditionalist sitting in front of a monitor,
A keyboard or a
destroying
control pad,
my eyes,
Yeah.
or sitting in front of a TV and playing it. That's more my gig. But either way, it's all moving to digital. But Stephen, I heard that about the industry making up 4.7 billion or something, an astronomical figure. And I think that's getting skimmed over by a lot of people in modern day society. They still laugh. There's a sneery attitude
Still
towards video
seen as
gaming.
nerdy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you play games, you're stupid. There is people earning an absolute fortune on Twitch. The likes of XQC. There's other guys
John,
on there. I mean,
there's
fucking
actual people
Ninja. These guys are
a lot of
millionaires.
money out of Roblox as well, which is obviously more kid orientated, but
Minecraft.
both of us have played it and it's quite enjoyable to certain things.
Oh, there's great
hobbies and stuff
yeah.
like that. But the actual developer side of it, where you can get in and you can learn how to develop your own maps, and because the advertising that's involved in throwing like adverts onto those sort of platforms, there's money to be made in it.
Yeah. And Steve, you talk about educational. That's teaching perhaps young
Coding,
people.
yeah.
Obviously coding and creating video games, and that's going to be brilliant for the new era of video games,
Yeah.
because there's some brilliant concepts and just ingenious little things getting done in that. Like the Uno game, the Squid Game thing, it was on it at the time. It was just it's brilliantly realised in this kids sort of environment. It's really, really cool. I always laugh though. I go on it with obviously my niece. I'll not say her name because that's weird as fuck. We don't know who's watching, but just the fact I'm on there drawing things, and it's the average age is probably 8.
Yeah, you're competitive though,
And
John.
I've got 89 in my name.
Yeah.
And they're like, this bitch is 33. And they're fucking, it's almost like pity votes. They're voting for me, and the drawings are worse than theirs. And I'm a fucking good drawer, man. I am. But I mean, I've literally just nearly finished a drawing of James Paul McCartney. I am a very good fucking drawer. But it's just that's showing you where it's at, Stephen. You've got new generations who are not growing up with physical media. They don't give a shit about it. And they've got a different attitude to video games now to what we had when you were younger and what I had when I was younger, where it was a joke. You're wasting your time, go outside. Well, you're right, you have to go outside, to be fair, you do. But now there is avenues as a career to go and play games competitively, to go and stream and actually make it a career. So the attitudes are changing. You can see that in the money. 4.7 billion is fucking huge.
Incredible, isn't it?
Huge amount of money, man. Massive. So I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm a gamer. I'll always be a gamer to the day I die. And going to fuck anybody that says otherwise. I don't care. Be yourself. I'm going to get the intro. It's not going away. It is not going away. There it's there. I need to get Stream Deck sorted. I must. And there you go. The logo was animating. The anal little mini me inside was dying when that was a simple image.
John, there's one thing you have to do, please, is take those panels away from the trailer reaction end screen.
Oh yeah. I've got it.
That's eating away. You see me.
I've literally got it there. There is no need for it. It is on my PC. I can just drag and drop it in. So I'll do that because we're going to be doing reactions. So I will endeavour to. I mean, I can literally go in and edit it out, post. I mean, it's captured. No, it's not. That's a fucking lie. It's in Premiere Pro. Everything's in Premiere Pro. But yeah, look, man. I don't know where I'm going with that. Needless to say, glad that video games are succeeding.
Yeah.
That there's a new generation with a different attitude. And that digital's winning out. Look, I'm still a traditionalist, man. I like physical copies of things as well. Books, stuff like that. I'm with Tarantino. What happens if there's a huge solar burst and we're all fucked and there's no internet? You ain't playing your games, man. You're not playing your games anyway because there'll be no fucking internet. We'll be back to just a couple of weeks back when we had a power cut around here and it was literal fucking iPad flashlights and me sitting playing my acoustic guitar badly and raging that I didn't have Bruce Springsteen's Dancing in the Dark downloaded onto my device. It was through cloud. So there's a lesson to be learnt there. Enjoy the digital content but have a backup. Quentin won't ever fucking live without his movies. He's got a fucking theatre in his house and fucking hundreds if not thousands of films. Unreal. That bitch knows what he's doing. Let's go round it up though. What is your thoughts on the topics we have touched upon? What do you make about Joker 2 Fully Ado? Hilda Gudnadottir.
Gal Gadot.
Gail Gadot is actually called. Ramdauter. Thomas Muller. What's your thoughts on her coming out and providing an update on this film's production? It's going to be happening. Lady Gaga's in there. Share your thoughts about that down below in the comment section if you have anything to say. U2 reimagining 40 of their songs for a new upcoming album. Are you a fan of the Beatles? Have you heard of the Love album? Should it be like that? It fucking should. I'll answer that question for you. Finally, video games 90% digital. Are you a gamer? What's your thoughts on that trajectory for games, the gaming industry, for society in general, moving to a digital age, cloud-based gaming, cloud-based storage, physical copies of things dying out? Is that dangerous? I just all the time think of the great library of fucking Babylon or whatever it was, probably made up, Alexandria, getting burnt, and all of human knowledge being fucking lost to that point, and it's setting us back hundreds if not thousands of years.
Books. We have books.
This scene that came into my head there, the fucking time machine, as we just progress into digital and physical stuff gets left behind, we're going to lose everything, man. Something's going to happen and we're going to lose fucking everything and we'll be back to the fucking Stone Age. Killing fish and you don't eat fish, but what's your thoughts? You can share your thoughts down below if you can say it all. I love coconut, man. I love coconut. I don't like the milk so much, but I like the flesh of a coconut. And by fuck is it great in a korma based curry or a pasander, which is the best motherfucking curry on the planet. Those pesky Southern Indians know what they're doing, man. I love the Northern food as well, but the Southern Indians certainly know what they're doing when it comes to food, and that is why I have to be going there. That's why I am proud of my 2% Indian ancestry. But look, share your thoughts down below if you get anything to say about that. The comments is the place to put it. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon on YouTube to get notifications straight to your eyeballs. Same over on Twitch, follow button, notifications button over there. All that is left to say is thank you for watching us. Me and Stephen are done, and until the next time, bye-bye. Till tomorrow, bye-bye.